Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is my first video attempting to explain my method for solving a Rubik's Cube. Most folks would use F2L, or they would use like a cross method on solving layer by layer. I use what's known as a corner method, and I've actually developed a system of, I teach high school mathematics, so I've developed a way to teach my students how I solve the Rubik's Cube. Now, I don't really do it for speed, but I do have a pretty good collection of about 50 different Rubik's Cubes that I just like puzzles. So what I've got here is two Rubik's Cubes kind of joined together. I bought a cheap plastic one from Walmart, and then I had a speed cube that was white, and I've kind of merged the two together, and I substitute the pieces that I want the students to focus on. And the very first step that I teach them is to line up their first corner, because no matter how they hold it, the only way the centers are going to change positions if they physically rotate the cube. So I try to teach them not to do that. But the very first thing is to pick a corner and line it up with the three centers, right? Because every corner piece has three colors, and every edge piece has only two colors, right? So the first thing they do is match that up. Once they can do that pretty easily, which is pretty quick, I put in the next three pieces and move on to the next step. All right, so for the next step, I put in three edge pieces, the red-white, the red-blue, and the blue-white, and I tell them this is what I want them to complete. This is the very first corner of the Rubik's Cube, right? So kind of side by side there, I suppose. And I just have them scramble it up, and I show them how to go through the steps. So the first thing I would do after it's all scrambled up is I would pick a corner, right? And I like to red, white, and blue, so I would find the red, white, and blue corner, and I would match up with one of the centers. It really doesn't matter which center you match up first. And once that one is matched up, I would rotate that side until all of the centers match up. So now I have the red with the blue with blue, red with red, and white with white. And our task now is to place the rest of the edges where they go. Okay, so in this example, two of them are kind of messed up already, and I'm going to start with this one right here. Because what I tell my kids is, it's pretty basic. We want to see where the piece needs to go, and I need to have one of the colors matched up already. So here I already have the whites matched up, and the corner is this one, so we don't want to lose track of that. We like to look at where this piece wants to go. I'm looking right at it, and so what I would tell them is take this corner and drop it out of that top layer just for the moment while we rotate the piece into place, and then we can put the corner right back. Okay, so I dropped it out of the way, I moved it into place, and then I put the corner back. So now I've got this piece over here, which I just moved, and it's the blue-white one, all right? So I want it to go right here. I got the blue side on top. I want it to go right there. I'm just kind of looking at where it goes. This is the corner, and of course we're gonna drop that corner out of the way, move the piece into place, and then put the corner right back, okay? Now, the last piece is in the right spot. It just needs to be flipped. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it out, we're going to twist it around, and then put it right back. So to take it out, we're going to drop the corner, we're going to move it just a little bit and put our corner back. And then what we can do is, remember, we need one of these colors matched up. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate this to the red side, and because the reds are matched up, I'm going to change how I hold it. I'm going to be looking at where that piece needs to go, right? That's where I want it to go. And here's the corner. We're going to drop the corner, rotate it into place, and then we're going to put the corner right back. Okay? So that's what we need to end up with at the end of this first stage. This is our very first corner. Okay, our next stage is to make the next corner fall into place and then wrap the edges around it. I've already got it completed. This is what we want to end up with, right? So at the end of the first stage, we'll probably have this, and somewhere else on the cube, we're going to have to find that next corner. Now, since it has three colors, there are three different ways that we can drop it into place, right? So this is the second one, and this is the third one. And if we rotate it to the top, you notice that's all I'm doing. I'm rotating it to the top, swiping the top, and then dropping it right back in place. So I can rotate it through all three colors, just testing it out, okay? So that's what we do. We're going to place the corner first, and once we get that into place, we're going to rotate it to the yellow side here. And just like we did before, we want to match up the yellow color. See, this is the yellow red, and we want it to come all the way around. That's what we want to do right there. But of course, I have to preserve my corner, so I'm going to drop the corner while I rotate that yellow red one all the way around, and then I can put the corner back. Okay? All right, so we got one more piece to go. That this blue and yellow one goes way over here, but we're gonna rotate it around so that the yellows match up. Okay, remember, I'm gonna look at where I want to rotate to, so I want it to go right there. And before we make that rotation, I'm gonna take my corner, drop it out of the way while I rotate it into place, and then I'll put my corner right back. And so this is what we should end up with in the second step. All right, for this third stage, I've added in all of the rest of the edges, and this is our end goal with the third stage. I don't want to lose my rectangular prism that I've created, my 2x2x3, but what I want to do is make sure that these edges have the correct color match and these edges have the correct color match. And normally when you get to this stage, they're all scrambled up, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and scramble it up if I can. Okay, so that should be scrambled enough, okay? And so you'll end up with something like this, all right? And what I tell my kids is take that prism we just created and in your offhand, kind of lock it in place. Do not let go, okay? And try to scramble all these up. Now, this is actually pretty easy with the way I have it, but this doesn't always happen, right? It doesn't matter that the yellow and the white don't match up. These do, that's okay, but this one doesn't, and that's okay. What we want to make sure is that I've got all these green ones here and all these orange ones here, okay? But by chance, right, what we may end up with is a situation like this, where this one has been flipped in the process somehow, and this one has been flipped in the process. So no matter, if I'm holding on tight, no matter how many times I rotate these around, that orange and blue one will never match up with the orange side. And this green and white one will never match up with the green side. All right, so if they're gonna have some messed up, they're always gonna be in pairs, okay? So you wanna find two of them that are messed up, and what you wanna do is you wanna put one of them rotated around to the pocket of your hand right here. There's where I'm holding it. So I've got one bad piece in the pocket of my hand. This is the pocket. So one in the pocket and one at the tip of that thumb. There's my other one, tip of the thumb. And just for a moment, what we're gonna do is we're gonna release our grip on this side because we wanna rotate this bad piece up to the top so that the oranges match. We'll take the other one and rotate that top around so that it replaces the orange one I just put up there. And then we'll take this and reset it to where it was, okay? And so by doing that, those two pieces have switched places, and now, as you can see, I've got them all messed up, okay? So there's 7 edges at this point, and remember, they're messed up in pairs, so you can have 2 or 4 or 6 of them that are messed up. And as long as you put one at the tip of your thumb and the other bad one in the edge of in your pocket here, you'll always fix them together. Okay, so I've still got my rectangular prism, 2x2x3. I've fixed all of the edges, and now what I want to do is I've got the bottom 2 corners on this side. I want to place the next corner. So I'm going to find it wherever it is, and there it is right there. I've placed it in there. And like we did before, right, we can rotate it around to see all 3 colors landing in that spot, right? I've got an iron grip on this 2x2x3 that I've created, and I can just rotate the right side and the top as many times as I want until I get what I want, right? So I want it just like that. I've placed the corner, and now we're going to find the other 2 pieces, right? So basically what we want to do is these 2 have to be paired together on the top and the back away from where we want it to go, because once we pair them up, we're going to rotate them around and down. Okay, so I'm going to take this corner that I've already got set, I'm going to bring it to the top and then rotate it to the back. Okay, you notice that there's a a yellow on top, and I want to put the other yellow one right beside it, which is this one here. This is the yellow and green, and so I'm going to rotate it up to the top and place it right where I want it, so that when I bring my corner back, those are going to be side by side, right? So now we can rotate them together as a pair around and down, right? But as we do that, you should notice that this piece right here needs to be red, right? So when we rotated this one around, we should have made sure there was a red one, a red-green one right there that we can stack it on top of. So what I'm going to do, just put that pair out of the way, and I'm going to find the one I'm looking for. So there's the green and red that I can stack those on top of, right? So I've paired them up. I'm going to bring them around and then stack it and pack it all together. Okay, so now I've got my 2x2x3 that I've kind of expanded to the next corner, and I've got one corner to go. Okay, at this point I've got this is what I want. This is the first two layers. I've created my 2x2x3. I've put in the third corner and the edges around it at the same time, and now I want the last corner. So I'm going to scramble it up a little bit. And we're going to have to find this last corner, and it's basically like we just did, but with our one hand tied behind our back, basically, right? So we're going to find the corner. This is the one, right? White, red, and green. And you'll notice if I drop it like it is, it doesn't match up. Okay, so I don't want to do that, but I can rotate this right side counterclockwise and test it out, but that doesn't work. So I'm going to go past that and reset. Okay, got to reset, and let's try it one more time. Okay, I can rotate this counterclockwise and check that out. It lands right in the perfect spot. Okay, but you'll notice that it doesn't have the edge with it. So when I do rotate that corner down, I need to have that edge go with it. Now notice that's the edge I want, but it is not rotating with the corner. So it actually needs to be here when I pair them up. It needs to be right here, okay? So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna place my corner. There's the edge, you're gonna keep track of it. I'm gonna put it over here to the side, okay? So now I'm gonna bring my corner to the top, all right? And reset all of this. That's the way I want my corner, right here with the white on top. And when I drop it, I can pair it with the edge piece that it goes with. And now I'm going to push those two off to the side, the left side, while I bring up this. This will be just a bunch of junk that I can bring up, and then I can replace whatever that is with the two that I just paired together. And now I have two full layers, and my top cross is already fixed. Okay, I'm not really worried about these edge pieces matching at the moment. That's actually the last thing we do. But at this point, we have some algorithms to learn. Okay, for the top layer, we have to first check to see if our corners are positioned in the correct spot. So what we do is just pick one of them and rotate it where we would want it to go. So for example, let's do this one right here. This corner has orange, yellow, and green, and I've already matched up where it needs to go. But if we look right next to it, this corner is supposed to have green, but it doesn't. All right, so that's a bad corner. This corner is supposed to have blue, but it doesn't. That's a bad corner. All right, this one is supposed to have yellow, but it doesn't. It's a bad corner, right? So no matter which way it's rotated, there should be two of them that are good and two of them that are bad, and you just have to figure it out, right? So in this case, I said there was only one that was good and the other three were bad. So what would I do? Well, I know there has to be two, so I'm just going to take the top and rotate it and choose a different corner to look at. So I rotated it a little bit. This corner now has all the correct colors, so that one's good. This one has all of the correct colors, white, green, and orange, like the centers, so that one's good. This one is supposed to have green, but it doesn't, and this next one is supposed to have blue, but it doesn't. So I've identified that 2 of my corners are bad, and 2 of my corners are good. And what we want to do is we want to hold the good ones in our left hand and the bad ones in our right. Now, if they're diagonal from each other, then you're going to put them in the upper left and lower right, and you'll have to do this algorithm twice. Okay, and this is the algorithm. As long as the good ones are on the left and the bad ones are on the right, we want to take the left side down. The top rotates counterclockwise over, and the right side goes down, and then the top goes back the other way where it was, and the left side goes up, and then the top goes counterclockwise again over, and then the right side goes up. And that's the algorithm, right? All of them should be fixed if they were side by side. If they're diagonal from each other, you'll have to do it again. But let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go back to that blue, orange, and white corner. That one's good, like it was. That one's good, like it was. And now this one has the correct colors, and this one has the correct color. So in this step, I have positioned the corners. Positioned them, right? So now what we want to do is twist them right where they're at. I want to twist them so that these oranges come to the top, like the top color here, right? If there is one of these corners already fixed, then we would place it in the bottom left. If 2 of them are fixed diagonal, we'd put them here. And if they're side by side, we'd put them at the top. But I don't have any that are fixed. And what I like to do is look at the edge. And if there's one on the edge, I would like to put it here on the right side. I've done this enough times that I know that when all of these orange corners are not on the top, I want to find one that's on the right that I'm looking at. So then we do our second algorithm, which is all in the right hand. Right side goes up, and then the top goes clockwise. The right side goes down, the top goes clockwise, the right side goes up, and then you do a double turn on the top, and the right side goes down. All right, that algorithm right there fixes this first corner. And remember, I want to put it in the bottom left. And I want to do the same algorithm all over again in the right hand. Right side up, top goes over, right side down, top goes over, right side up. We'll do a double twist on the top, and then the right side down. And now we can see that all of our corners are orange on top. And if we check, they're all perfectly positioned and rotated around. Okay, the only thing left are the middle edges, and you'll notice that they're all messed up. Right, there is a specific algorithm that switches them, these 2 with each other. I don't really worry about that. I just do the same algorithm. It's a third one for the top, and it's a pretty long one, so follow along. It's left hand 180. Rotate the top, doesn't matter which way at the moment, and then the front and the back rotate in the same direction. Then the left side goes 180 again, and basically now we reset everything, the front and the back where they were. Rotate the top again, the same direction I did the first time, and the left side is 180 one more time. And what that does is it fixes one of our edges. So you notice I fixed the white one, but the other 3 need to be rotated, okay? So when you have one that's fixed, we're gonna put it here on the right side, and we're gonna take note of the other 3. Which way do we want them to rotate? So this is the green one that I need to rotate over here. The blue one is actually gonna rotate all the way around to the other side, and the yellow one is gonna come to this side. So you notice that if I just take the top and rotate it, counterclockwise there, then these 2 are going to go where they need to go. So keep that in mind. I need to rotate it counterclockwise. Okay? Same algorithm I did before. Left side 180, counterclockwise. Then we do the front and the back down. Rotate the left side 180 again. Then put the front and back where they were. And then counterclockwise once more, and left side 180 once more. And that is how I solve a Rubik's Cube with the corner method.